Prabhu Pade Milaila, Antaryami Prabhu Chite Sukha Nai Paila. Bhagavan Acharya took his brother to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but the Lord, knowing that Gopal Bhattacharya was a Mayavadi philosopher, could not get much happiness from meeting him. Acharya Sambande Bahye Kare Priya Bas Krishna Bhakti Vina Prabhu Haya Ulas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu derives no happiness from meeting one who is not a pure devotee of Krishna. Thus, because Gopal Bhattacharya was a Mayavadi scholar, the Lord felt no jubilation in meeting him. Nevertheless, because Gopal Bhattacharya was related to Bhagavan Acharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feigned pleasure in seeing him. Feigning means pretending.
Ah.
Yeah, he pretended to be really happy.
Well,
you know,
Mahaprabhu
but really he's not liking it.
Not very much excited.
Swarup Goshan Nire Acharya Kahe Aradine Vedanta Padiya Gopal Aisache Ekane. Bhagavan Acharya said to Swarup Damodar, Gopal, my younger brother, has returned to my home, having concluded his study of Vedanta philosophy. Sabe Meli Aisa Shuni Basya Ihara Stane Prema Kroda Kali Swarup Balaya Vichane. Bhagavan Acharya requested Swarup Damodar to hear from Gopal the commentary upon Vedanta. Swarup Damodar Goswami, however, somewhat angry because of love, spoke as follows. Buddhi Brashta Haila Tomara Gopalera Sange Mayavada Shunibare Upajila Range. You have lost your intelligence in the association of Gopal, and therefore you are eager to hear the Mayavada philosophy. Vaishnava Hana Yeva Sariraka Basya Sune Savya Sevaka Bhava Chadi Arpanare Ishvaramani. When a Vaishnava listens to Shariraka Basya, the Mayavada commentary upon Vedanta Sutra, he gives up the Krishna conscious attitude that the Lord is the master and the living entity is his servant. Instead, he considers himself the Supreme Lord. Purport. The philosophers known as Kaivalad Dvaita Vadis generally occupy themselves with hearing the Shariraka Bhasya, a commentary by Shankaracharya advocating that one impersonally considers oneself the Supreme Lord. Such Mayavada philosophical commentaries upon Vedanta are simply imaginary, but there are other commentaries on Vedanta philosophy. The commentary by Srila Ramanujacharya, known as Sri Bhasya, establishes the Visishtadvaita philosophy. Similarly, in the Brahma Sampradaya, Madhvacharya's Purna Pragya Bhasya establishes Shuddhadvaita Vada. In the Kumara Sampradaya, or Nimbaka Sampradaya, Sri Nimbaka establishes the philosophy of Dvaita Vada in the Parijata Saurabha Bhasya. And in the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, or Ruja Sampradaya, which comes from Lord Shiva, Vishnu Swami has written a commentary called Sarvagya Bhasya, which establishes Shuddhadvaita Vada. A Vaishnava should study the commentaries on Vedanta Sutra written by the four Sampradaya Acharyas, namely Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, and Nimbarka. For these commentaries are based upon the philosophy that the Lord is the Master and that all living entities are his eternal servants. One interested in studying Vedanta philosophy properly must study these commentaries, especially if he is a Vaishnava. These commentaries are always adored by Vaishnavas. The commentary by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is elaborately given in the Antya-līlā, chapter 7, text 101. The Mayavada commentary, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, is like poison for a Vaishnava. It should not be touched at all. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur remarks that even a Mahabhagavat, or highly elevated devotee, who has surrendered himself unto the lotus feet of Krishna, sometimes falls down from pure devotional service. If he hears the Mayavada philosophy of Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, this commentary should therefore be shunned by all Vaishnavas. Mahabhagavat Yai, Krishna Prana Dana Yara, Mayavada Shravane, Chita Avasya Frire Tanra. The Mayavada philosophy presents a jugglery of words that even a highly elevated devotee who has accepted Krishna as his life and soul changes his decision when he reads the Mayavada commentary on Vedanta Sutras. So it's very dangerous to read anything like that. You must never, ever, stray away from reading devotional topics, I know a very advanced devotee who was reading some Mayavada philosophy, and his mind became bewildered, and he was telling me, and so it shows you how dangerous it is to read these philosophies,
He was telling you that he became bewildered?
Well, he found himself in a shop, and just as he's in a bookshop, and there's all these books, and he just picked one up, and it just happened to be, it was all yoga and everything like that. He happened to be reading it, and it's out of interest, but then after reading it for a few minutes, it poisoned his mind, and he had to stop, and he was becoming, he was becoming bewildered, So that shows you, and even an advanced devotee,
Even a pure devotee.
Well,
Even a pure devotee.
Well,
lots to speak of advanced.
Yeah.
I have to start working now. So
Oh, okay. Okay, Prabhu. Okay. The Mayavada philosophy presents such a jugglery of words that even a highly elevated devotee who has accepted Krishna as his life and soul changes his decision when he reads the Mayavada commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Acharya kahe ama sabhava Krishna nishta chite. Ama sabhava mana basya nave piraite. In spite of Swarup Damodar's protest, Bhagavan Acharya continued, "We are all fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna with our hearts and souls. Therefore, the Shariraka Bhashya cannot change our minds." Swarup kahe tahapi Mayavada Shravane, Chit Brahma Maya Metya A Matra Sune. Swarup Damodar replied, "Nevertheless, when we hear the Mayavada philosophy, we hear that Brahman is knowledge and that the universe of Maya is false, but we gain no spiritual understanding." The Mayavadi philosopher tries to establish that the living entity is only imaginary and that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is under the influence of Maya. Hearing this kind of commentary breaks the heart and life of a devotee. Purport. Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami want to impress upon Bhagavan Acharya that even though someone firmly fixed in devotion to Krishna's service might not be deviated by hearing the Mayavadi Bhashya, that Bhashya is nevertheless full of impersonal words and ideas such as Brahman, which represent knowledge, but which are impersonal. The Mayavadis say that the world created by Maya is false, and that actually there is no living entity, but only one spiritual effulgence. They further say that God is imaginary, and that people think of God only because of ignorance, and that when the supreme absolute truth is befooled by the external energy Maya, he becomes a jiva, or living entity. Upon hearing all these nonsensical ideas from the non-devotee, a devotee is greatly afflicted, as if his heart and soul were broken. So, we finish that part today. And just read a little bit of Golden Volcano, because it's very over time. Okay. Okay, so a reading from Golden Volcano of Divine Love by His Divine Grace Swami P.R. Sridhar, Sridhar Maharaj. So the previous sentence before this new chapter was new section was, then one day from within, feeling ecstasy in his heart, Nityananda Prabhu could understand that Sri Gauranga had begun his pastimes of Sankirtan in Navadvip, and with that inspiration he came to Navadvip Dham. So now a new section in this book, the Golden Volcano of Divine Love. That day Mahaprabhu told his followers, I had a dream that an extraordinarily great man in a chariot marked with a palm tree of Balaram came to my door and said, where is the house of Nimai Pandit? Twice, thrice, 4 times, again and again he kept saying, where is the house of Nimai Pandit? Mahaprabhu continued, that great personage must have come last night to Navadvip. Try to search him out. They searched and searched, but could not find him anywhere. Then Mahaprabhu told them, let me try. He took them straight to the home of Nandanacharya, and when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his followers suddenly arrived there, they found Nityananda Prabhu sitting on the veranda. After seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu stared intently at him for some time, became absorbed in him and fainted. In this way, in one day, he became the most intimate associate of Sriman Mahaprabhu. When he was ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give Krishna consciousness to everyone, he began to distribute Gauranga consciousness, divine love of Sri Gauranga. That Nityananda Prabhu is the saviour of all fallen souls, without any discrimination of the degree of their fallenness, so we bow down to his holy feet. Once, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a secret talk with Nityananda Prabhu in Jagannath Puri. When Nityananda Prabhu went to Bengal and married, some say that Mahaprabhu asked him to marry. It is our opinion that because the so-called high-class people were so much surcharged with vanity, Nityananda Prabhu was asked to approach the masses. Because he was ordered to mix with them very familiarly for his preaching purposes, it was found necessary for him to marry. Otherwise, if he were to have mixed very familiarly with family men, accusations may have been levelled at his standard of renunciation. And to further that purpose, he married. He had to adopt that policy and accept that attitude. And he may have been told to do so by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was not his own decision. Of course, marrying or not marrying was nothing to him. How he came in contact with his eternal consort, Jana Janava Devi is described in Bhakti Ratnakara. It appears that when he was preaching all around Bengal, he preached at the house of Janava Devi's father, Suryadas Pandit, the brother of Gauridas Pandit, who was already a follower of Govind Nityananda. Suryadas gave him intimate help in his propaganda work, as his house was a good base. And Suryadas, who had 2 daughters, offered Nityananda Prabhu his daughter in marriage. Ultimately, Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Srimati Janada Devi are eternally associated. And although their marriage apparently took place out of necessity, it was actually part of their eternal Leela. Of course, some so-called sannyasis take advantage of this to give up their vows of celibacy and marry. They give the marriage of Nityananda as an excuse, but it is not a proven fact that Nityananda Prabhu was a sannyasi. Actually, the name Nityananda is a brahmachari name. Ananda is a suffix added to the name of brahmachari. Ananda, Sarup, Prakash, and Chaitanya are different types of brahmachari names. The name Ananda is also found in the sannyas order of life, but we find no sannyas title mentioned for Nityananda Prabhu. There is also no mention anywhere of a sannyas guru for Nityananda Prabhu, although we know that his Diksha guru was Madhavendra Puri, the guru of Advaita Prabhu and Ishwara Puri. Nityananda Prabhu is known as an Advatut. Advatut does not mean a sannyasi, but one who is not very particular about his external practices, and sometimes does things which should not be done. When an exalted person is seen engaging in lower practices, he is considered an Advatut. It is understood that he is above that, but his practices are of a lower nature. Ava means lower, and Dut means that he can either remove or purify. Nityananda Prabhu broke the single sannyas staff, Ekadanda, into 3. That indicates that when taking sannyas, the renounced order of life, we should accept not 1 but 3 dandas, which symbolize the dedication of body, mind and words in the service of the Lord. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was also inspired by this action of Nityananda Prabhu's to give Tridanti sannyas to his followers. In contrast to Ekadanda, which was formerly current in Bengal. The system of Tridanti sannyas was the custom in Southeast India with the Vaishnavas, who follow Ramanujacharya, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta introduced it for the modern age. Okay. So, we're finished there. So, who wants to sing? Anybody who wants to sing? Anybody sing Hari Raya Nama Krishna?
Okay.
Hari Raya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Namaha Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Jayam Puchipaya Paramanta Paravaja Kuchaya Vaya Asatara Sata Shishiman Sri Bhakti Yoga Institute Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Puchipaya Paramanta Paravaja Kuchaya Vaya Asatara Sata Shishiman Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ki Jai. Jayam Puchipaya Sri Gauranga Haridāsa Babiji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Puchipaya Sri Devananda Sri Bhakti Yoga Ki Jai. Jayam Puchipaya Sri Jagannath Babiji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Sri Rupa Guru Bhaka Ki Jai. Namaskar Sri Haridāsa Ki Jai. Guru Charya Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nandi Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Baladevi Devotion again Ki Jai. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Narottam Shamananda Srinivasa Acharya Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Das Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Vakana Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Vakana Sri Chaitanya Bhatta Dasa Vakana 6 Swamis of Vrindavan Ki Jai. Sarveshwara Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sarveshwara Sri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Jai Sri Sri Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shami Kunwada Kunkari Gaudan Ki Jai. Sri Lakshmi Vavaha Devi Ki Jai. Sri Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Sri Nasingade Ki Jai. Bhakti Prabhu Palad Maharaj Ki Jai. Joshi Mahawani Ki Jai. Joshi Parikma Ki Jai. Grant watching that Bhagavatam Chaitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai. Krishna Vaishnava Vacha Safar Ki Jai. Alkamat Vacha Sri Chaitanya Ki Jai. Jadiya Sakamat Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Ki Jai. Krishna Bhirati Jadiya Sakamat Ki Jai. Sridhar Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Sridhar Prabhu Ki Jai. Vrindavan Purushottam Dham Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadar Chakravarti Ki Jai. Sri Gauranga Ki Jai. Sri Sridhar Sri Gauranga Ki Jai. Samaveta Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Haridāsa Kirtan Ki Jai. All devotees of Lord Ki Jai. All devotees of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati. All devotees Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Ki Jai. All devotees all over the world Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Jai Haridāsa Kirtan Ki Jai.